welcome to Steve McDonald's Arts and Crafts. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make some resin coasters with emoji pictures on them. So what I've done is I've gone onto my computer, I've found some copyright-free copyright-free emoji pictures. I've printed them off on photo paper and then I've cut them out. So here we go, as if by magic. And what I'm going to do is I've purchased these off of Amazon, and they're MDF little coaster blanks, and I'm going to adhere those to them like that, and then I'm going to resin over them, put some little feet on them and use them as coasters. But before I can do that, I want to prep my coasters. So I'm going to paint both sides and the edges with yellow, which is maybe the similar sort of colour, but it's much better than this colour. And then I'm going to let that dry, stick these on using photo mount on top, and then I will seal these pictures and then resin over them. Okay, so I'm just going to prep my my coasters with a little bit of this processed yellow. Okay, don't need much. Let's get a brush, if I've got a nice clean brush, which I have, and then I'm just going to go over it like so. And that works in two ways for me. It gives a slight background to it if the image is slightly different size, but also it allows the masking tape I use to stick much easier to the underside when I've painted it than it would if it was directly on the MDF. I don't know why, just I can't get it to stick on the MDF very well. Okay, so when I've completed those, I will come back. Now I've painted all the blanks here and I've done all the edges and both sides, it's time to mount. So for instance, that one onto there, ready to, I will seal them and I will tape underneath as well, ready to pour the resin on. And the reason I put them on them little pots is because if I don't, then what happens is I end up letting them stick to the paper where I've painted the edges. So I'm going to use simple photo mount for this. It works really well for me. You could use really any glue. These have been printed on with a laser printer on photo paper, so it's not a thin paper. And literally all I need to do now is just to give that a shake first and a quick spray over like so. I'll let that sit for a few seconds. It goes quite tacky. Now you need to be quite quick and exact with these. Now because they're round, it does make life a little bit easier. There we go, that's on there, and that is not going anywhere or coming off. I'll just pop it on there. I'm going to push this down, certainly around the edges as well, ready to be sealed. And the great thing about this is I can seal this straight away with the photo mount paper. So I can just seal that, give it a coat of sealer, which I'm shaking up now, as I'm sure you can hear. And the sealer I'm using is Crystal Clear Seals, Protects and Enhances. It's a quick drying, non-yellowing, durable clear top coat for interior and exterior use, and it can be used on lots of different things. I use it all the time. So So that's that. Very light coat. And that one's sealed. Ready for me to let it dry. I'll give it another coat of sealer and then I'll resin it. So we'll come back once I've done the rest. We've now got the coasters all ready to pour the resin, and what I'll be using is I will be using a heat resistant resin by Resin 8, because I think it's important when you're using coasters to use a heat resistant resin, because the last thing you want to do is put your hot drink on your coaster and then it becomes soft, or you, God forbid, your cup melts into your coaster. So I think it's important to use a heat resistant resin, and the great thing about this resin is it's workable, pot ready for about 90 minutes, so you don't have to rush, and it dries crystal clear, and it is self-leveling. Well, the coasters have dried now, and they've dried, and I used the heat resistant resin on them. Unfortunately, the only one that really came out well was this one. And I think that one looks great. And I have to say, I really should have taken my own advice with these coasters. I mean, that's resined up lovely. There's hardly any drips on the bottom. I'm going to take the tape off now as well. Okay, so there's the tape off that one. And I'm going to put its little tutti feeties on. So I'm going to put the little tutti feets on now. The little rubbery feet. Because I think the coasters always work much nicer with little rubbery feet on. And these ones are great little rubbery feet. They stick on ever so easily. So I'm going to put one there. One opposite it there. One there. And these are excellent little rubbery feet, and they don't come off. They are really good. I just push them down and that's it, they'll stay there. So there's the coaster that come out really well. And that's because that's the one I took my own advice on. And when I stuck it down, I pushed all around the edges, I made sure that it was nice and firm, and it was all sealed lovely. And I rushed the other ones. Now this one turned out okay, but I forgot to go over this one, and I got a bubble there and a bubble there with the torch. And unfortunately, let's move him out of the way. These ones, even though I actually really like them, and the backing will come off them easily, and so will the dots, so will the any drips that got there, as you can see. And that tape doesn't affect the paint underneath, which is great. These ones, I rushed them because I had a couple of projects I wanted to do and I needed to get on, and my mum was coming around and I wanted to see my mum. So I didn't push the edges down. I remember not doing it. And as a result, some of the resin has got slightly underneath it. But failing that, I actually really don't mind them. So I think with the feet on, put him back in the middle, they actually look really pleased. And I kind of love them. I loves this one. I really like these ones. I may do them again, so I've got a full proper set. But overall, that's how I do coasters. But take a bit more time and care than me when you're pushing down your pictures. But as you can see, these photographs of printed on photo paper have not bled at all, regardless, with the resin on top. Even, let's go to this one, when the resin went underneath it, it changed the colour, but it didn't make them bleed because I sealed them very well first with a spray sealer before I resined over. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've learnt from my mistakes, but I also hope it's been useful for some of the things I got right. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video as much as you can to help my channel grow. Bye.